Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dugout Mugs Studios. Welcome to the Variety Sports Network production, the seventh inning stretch.
Josh Edwards here, Logan Stone, and yes, you can see we got our guest here, Brandon Warrior from Locked On Twins. We're gonna get into the AL Central kind of here in a little bit, the preview side of that. Kind of hit on a division that a lot of people, like I was saying before you got on there, 3 teams got in from there. Yes, 3 teams did get in from the AL Central, so we'll get Brandon's thought on that. I have a few questions about the Twinkies, as we say out here. What did they do in the offseason, or what did they not do in the offseason? Kind of get his thoughts on his Twins and where he sees them fitting in here in the AL Central. Before I get to Brandon here real quick, Josh Edwards, how we doing out here?
Good, sir. Good, sir. Good. Glad to be back. It's been another week.
Couple weeks away. Spring. Well, you know what? There's been a lot on the injury report we'll get into when we do Diamond Notes here later in the show as well. Logan Stone, how we doing out there? We'll be in and out a little bit tonight. You're at the show, but glad you could take some time to join us here. AL Central, not the NL Central, guys, but we will get into it. Brandon, Locked On Twins out there. You took some time to join us tonight. We're going to go over the AL Central. I know you said you just talked about that a little bit ago, so I know you'll be up to speed on the division you know well. Thanks for taking some time to do us. How's the Locked On Twins things been going for you?
Pretty good. And it's, the Twins are in the mix or favored in the division a lot of places. So at least it's a team that has some expectations. We did an episode with a guy who is the Locked On White Sox guy, and you just feel so bad because there's just no expectations on the South side. And he was a good sport, but it felt like we were punching down for the entire half hour. I felt real bad.
Yeah, well, as we get into maybe the White Sox, they do deserve a little punching down as well. But it's hard, as somebody that was as an A's fan out here in Oakland. I don't have a team anymore, so that has been. I know what that feels like in terms of that punching down, and your team kind of gives up on you a little bit, and I know that's what the White Sox fans are feeling a little bit out there. Where do you start with this division, though, as we kind of look into it? I have just a few little points up here as well. Make sure you check out the headlines below as well. Guardians stay on top. Twins, can they bounce back? Royals continue, blah, blah, blah. Tigers now are the favorite. How do you look at a division like the AL Central where, and some bad betting odds as well, your Twins are favored to get first place?
It pretty adequately mirrors the rest of the AL because if you look on Fangraphs, they have 14 of the 15 AL teams projected to win between 76 and 86 games, which is incredibly compressed. There'll be some teams that deviate from that a little bit. I think everybody kind of expects the White Sox to still be way back there. Spoiler alert, they're the team that they projected under 76. But, I think the AL Central kind of mirrors that, and certainly it helps that the only real bad team in the AL is in the Central. But it's going to be a 4-team race. It's going to be a dogfight to the end, and I think the Twins have the most skilled and talented team. They also have the one that's the most injury-prone / injury risk. So it just kind of comes down to, can they get more than 28 combined games from Byron Buxton and Royce Lewis and Carlos Correa? Because if they can do that as compared to last year, that goes a long way into securing their chances of getting back to the top of the division.
Yeah, I think as you kind of talked about the Twins there for a second. I mean, Logan, that's what I think about too, is Royce Lewis, Correa, like the health there with them, Buxton, the health there. I mean, that's why the Twins were favored last year. And the year before that, they had won their first playoff series and forever. Probably my A's was the last time they beat them. It was won a series. So exactly, made a movie out of it. But where do you see the AL Central, and obviously the Twins maybe do have the most talent and names with the top 3 guys. How do you see that?
So as someone who likes to do homework when it comes to baseball, I was kind of worried about the Guardians. It seemed like they took a huge step back this offseason, getting rid of Andres Jimenez, a couple of other guys, Matthew Boyd being one of them, Alex Cobb. And so I think the Guardians actually took so much of a step back that they're going to, they lost Josh Naylor also, that they are going to, they're not going to be as big as they were obviously last year. I mean, what they won.
They got 92 wins. 92
wins. I think this is going to be the year of the Tigers, honestly. They they got better in the offseason. They have the best farm system in the league. And, the Twins, I like the Twins, but they are a huge wild card, honestly. Byron Buxton, he's on fire whenever he's healthy. The problem is that he never stays healthy.
I was trying to think of somebody that I could compare him to, like to the early 2000s, where I just get like that he's a stud when he's in.
Grady Sizemore.
You think Sizemore? See, that's a good one. Yeah, I guess he did have a couple seasons that were Sizemore-esque there a little bit as well. That's a decent call there. That AL Central there, and so you don't believe in the Guardians then, obviously.
I just think they took a huge step back without adding anybody. They didn't add any free agents. They didn't add they didn't really trade for anyone. It was really just kind of mediocre. And so I don't see how they can replicate it without Josh Naylor, who was really good last year, and some of their other guys. So, and Shane Bieber is a wild card now, coming off of Tommy John surgery.
Would you agree with that, Brandon, about the Guardians before I get to Josh here?
Yeah, I also like the frustrating thing for me as a Twins-centric kind of person was I just felt like every team turned into a little league team when they played the Guardians. It was just they make routine throws look horrible and just you know what? But they put pressure on teams with making contact. They put pressure on teams with a good bullpen. I am down on them though. Yeah, I don't see the offensive talent being there, and their rotation last year was downright brutal. And I don't think it's appreciably better. And the bullpen just can't run as hot as it did last year. I think they could very easily win 78 games and be the Twins of last year.
Yeah, they're an interesting one, Josh. We got my Tyler right here. We believe in Steven vote. Yes, we do. We do. Steven is he has maybe the good luck charm there for the Guardians. There's no doubt there with it. Josh, what do you think of the Royals in this division, though? Like the Royals, if the Guardians are out, the Royals, ended up in second place last year with 86 wins. We'll tie with the Tigers at 86. Had the tiebreaker there. What do you make of the? They give the Yankees a decent push there in the playoffs. Think they make another step?
Well, we know I've been high on the Royals. I like a couple of the moves they made in the offseason, but I started looking a little deeper, and I started looking at some other things. And I'm not going to say I'm off the Royals by any means, but I'm not as confident as I was, let's say, even a month ago. Before I started really digging into what was going on and who was on the roster and what things were looking like. I still think the Royals are a team that I would say they're probably going to be closer to 500 this year.
So
to be honest with you.
Would that mean the Tigers and Twins then, or do you still think the Guardians?
See, I agree with Logan again. I don't know what's going on ever since he decided to make special guest appearances. I really am starting to lean towards Detroit on this one. Looking at the pitching staff they have, they may be able to put enough together, and only because they're in a weak division. Like they may win this division with 81 wins.
Yeah,
they may win it. Just maybe they may win it with 82 or 83 wins.
Royals are actually projected to go 500 exactly in 25, according to FanGraphs.
But you may see two teams that finish right around 500 or at 500, and then they're 1 and 2 in the division here. I think it could be that close. I just don't think any teams are going to be out here being a 90, 92 win team.
What did the Royals trade again for India? Who is the starter again that's escaping me from Cincinnati?
Brady Singer?
Yeah, so they get Singer. They give up him. I'm always weary of giving up pitching depth. They obviously needed some more hitting, though, up top. They're taking a chance with that trade there at India. What do you think, Brandon? You get, where do obviously you see it from a twin side. How dangerous are the Royals to you that maybe possess the best player in the division, though?
No, there's no question.
I would say nobody would say that. So
yeah, no, maybe. I think it's. I like the Royals, generally speaking, but also I just feel like they are going to be giving too many plate appearances to players like why is his name escaping me? The right-handed mashing. He hits lefties real well and played right field for them. But anyway, I think that they have too many holes in the lineup outside of Witt I mean, I like Pasquantino, but I think Jonathan India gave them something they didn't have at the top of the order. But the Hunter Renfroe, MJ Melendez, I just think they're relying too much on kind of like feeble offensive options at the bottom of their order. And I don't love their rotation outside of Reagan's. I think Lugo, Waka, Lorenzen, and Bubic, or, depending on if they, I know they were talking about moving one other guy in there other than Bubic. They were comparing the two, but that's a decent rotation. The bullpen is nice, and it's definitely interesting. But honestly, I think that this team is one Bobby Witt Jr. injury away from going like 72-90, and everyone just kind of being like, okay, well, where did we miss the boat on this one?
Yeah, I kind of tend to agree with you when I look at the Royals. I mean, I do like Reagan's as well, obviously, but like Hunter Renfroe doesn't move the needle for me overall again. And like, I mean, some of their young guys will really have to step up for them to take the next step. And I do worry about them with that. Are you more scared of the Tigers then in this division? Like, how do you feel about? Is that the team that worries you?
Yeah, it's
the Tigers.
This is the top. It's the rotation. I mean, they have Jackson Jobe likely on the outside looking in. Cater Montero's interesting too. So they're pretty deep in starting pitching, and they've got enough offense that I think they could make it work. But they also have Spencer Torkelson penciled in to hit cleanup. So every team has issues, and it's just a matter of how those manifest to start the season, and then if teams can get things going in the positive direction if it starts slow.
Tyler chimes in here. Lugo reminds me of Arrieta. It's funny. I was going to say Arrieta. As soon as you mentioned Lugo's name, just back to the Royals real quick. Yes, there is that scenario where he figures something out late in his career, but it also is a scenario where he had a one-off season. And that's when I sense Lugo, that's kind of my feeling, but
he's also injury prone too.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys were with it. I mean, and nobody's more injury prone than your Twins. I mean, like that. Yeah, I mean, they did an article on MLB, or maybe it was ESPN, something on Royce Lewis I read today or yesterday about him being able to just play 120 games, basically. I mean, that's got to be frustrating as a fan, though. Like, it really does. Like, if I was a Twins fan, they'd be like, okay, I have 3 guys that are good, but you also know they're always going to get hurt. And so, like, until they prove you wrong, right? That's where I would think it's got to be a little frustrating.
No question about it. I mean, that's their entire pivot point for the season is if those 3 guys stay healthy, they win 92 games and win the division running away. But last year they played 28 games or whatever it was together, and it was a train wreck at the end of the season, 9-18 in September, and just fell apart. So if those guys stay healthy, I mean, they have enough depth that they can weather the storm over periods of time. And they did that last year based on the fact that they only had those guys together for that many games.
True.
But at the end of the season, it just became too much. Joe Ryan got hurt, and they didn't have, enough depth behind him to maintain. Everything seemed to go wrong kind of at the wrong time for them. This is still a good baseball team. This is still a talented baseball team. And I've said this in a couple different platforms, but with the Yankees dealing with injuries, this AL is so wide open that there's a very real chance the Twins are one of the best teams in the AL, if not the best team. But again, knock on wood, hopefully they stay healthy.
Logan, you kind of mentioned the Twins earlier. Based on his comments, how do you feel? And like I said, the rotation to me is always a big thing with the Twins because they have to sometimes bail out a lineup that gets hurt a lot. And you have Lopez, Ryan. I'm not all in yet, but I'm in on him. Like I've always been in on him. It's just like there's certain guys like I'm like, come on, I need to see a little bit more. And he's like that guy for me. I need to see a little bit more with what he definitely has that potential. The bullpen is obviously very good. Duran at the end of the games. Logan, you made your comment about the Twins, but after hearing that, like, that is the best roster in the division? Is it the Tigers have the best roster, or the Twins have the best roster? Like I was looking at the division, that was it was hard for me to make the call because I'm like, well, the Twins have better players. It feels like in some areas. So Do you feel that same way, or do you think the Tigers now with getting Flaherty and that they overtake them?
I mean, I don't know. I the thing about the Twins is that, I mean, this is a big what if. Like, what if everyone stays healthy? And we know that that doesn't typically happen in MLB. And I mean, but they have Pablo Lopez, they have Joe Ryan, who I'm a fan of, and it's Chris Paddock. I haven't really paid attention to him much lately, but I mean, there's potential for. I mean, I don't know about the best team in the AL. I mean, they do have the pieces. They have Ty France, who could have a bounce back because he was a stud a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Royce Lewis. They have Carlos Correa, who really needs to just step up because of the money he's getting paid. Byron Buxton, if he can stay healthy, I mean, yeah, it's a dangerous lineup for sure, and definitely nothing to snooze at. It's just with the history of Byron Buxton, Carlos Correa, and some of those guys, I get kind of scared.
I really wish Royce Lewis would play a whole season. I want to see that guy in a whole season. Like he would be a superstar if he played 160 games. Like, but he can't. You know what I mean? Like the article was like, can he play 130? I was like, my God. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was like, what are we doing? I think this guy is a bona fide stud if he plays. And like that's, as a baseball fan, it's like frustrating that I mean Buxton's one thing, but Lewis is. I mean, he just seems like a natural. Like he has it if he could just stay healthy. I mean, like Brandon, do you guys feel that way as a fan base? Like, or is it?
Yeah,
Buxton
I mean,
it more. Like I would think it's got to be Lewis at this point.
He drew Derek Jeter comps for like leadership and whatnot coming out of school, and he's a great dude. I mean, A++. But again, like it's so much volatility as far as can he stay healthy? Because I mean, Bobby Witt Jr. is the best player in the division, but any one of the next of those three Twins between Buxton, Correa, and Lewis could stake a claim to the second spot if things were to break right. And so I think you have to be excited about that. Fangraphs has on Roster Resource 8 of the 9 starting batters for the Twins on their projected lineup at 100 weighted runs created plus or better. The 9th is Brooks Lee, who could very well have a nice year. He's projected to 96, and then their projected bench has 2 guys over 100. So, I mean, the offense should be there. The bullpen has been consistently projected as one of, if not the best in the game. And the rotation is solid. I mean, they've got 2 guys that are going to be 13 miles away at St. Paul who can help them in Zebby Matthews and David Festa. And beyond that, you know, Chris Paddock, Simeon Woods Richardson, we'll see how they do. They've both got warts and they've both got things that they can definitely capitalize upon. I think 1 through 26 to a man, it's the best roster in the division.
Edwards, that kind of leads to my point here as we're getting close to the 20-minute mark here. If you had to make like your picks here, I mean, I know, and we can get into the White Sox a little bit as we make our picks. Yeah, I kind of feel like we'll hit them last a little bit here with it, but like, where do you see the division line here? Have you had to make your fight? Where are we putting them? White Sox number one? No, it's good. Where do you have it at?
I'm gonna stay Detroit, and then I'm gonna go Minnesota behind them by like a game or 2. The Royals behind them by a game, maybe even the same record, but Minnesota has a better tiebreaker.
You can't have KC there. You can't have the White Sox ahead of the White Sox there in the division over the Guardians, can you? You can't have the White Sox. The Guardians take that fall in the back. My question about the White Sox is, can they get 60 wins? They had 41 last year. I was like, can they get 19 wins? That's still losing 100 games. Like it's not even a positive in that regard. So.
The question is, can the White Sox be so overlooked every time they're on somebody's schedule for the first 2.5 months of the season that they pick up some series wins that they're not supposed to and find some magic and make a trade or sign an agent? I mean, we've seen crazy things happen in sports. I've had no hot takes for the offseason, I think
Guardians
that'd be a
get
good
wild
hot
card?
take. Would be that somehow the White Sox don't finish last in the AL
Guardians
Central.
go from first to worst to the Guardians, and somehow the White Sox get number 4. Yeah, that would be the hottest take of all that. Skip Bayless shout out.
And all 5
You get
teams
that.
are separated by like 7 games at the end of the season. That would actually make sense.
So Detroit, Minnesota, KC, you go the White Sox and Guardians. Save that tape there.
Just for fun.
We'll get that. No, it's not for fun. That's on time. That's on. You said those words out of your mouth, so we get it. That's not much more than just
them for fun.
the White Sox. Your teams played against them more. I remember when the A's were dominating the Astros in the AL West, and they won like something crazy, like 17 in a row against this team. Brandon, I'm just curious from your standpoint, as somebody that has seen the White Sox more. I watched him because of Andrew Vaughn, who he was out here in the same area I grew up in, so I got to see him a lot growing up. And he's on the White Sox, unfortunately, with some of his teams, but I still kind of follow him a little bit. Is it that bad? Like, is the situation like? I'm just curious, like in that division, like what you're thinking of the White Sox. Just, I mean, a lot of people sell the team, all that. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can do the 41 win bit again. But if they were to win 55, I think you'd have to consider that a massive success. There's just no projected hope on this team outside of young pitching. Colson Montgomery at some point at shortstop. It won't be right away.
No.
Luis Robert, if he does anything, they're going to flip him, I think, because the second he shows any sign of being healthy, he's basically Byron Buxton Jr. But if they can,
good call. Good,
if they can move him for a 3-player package with a couple top 100 prospects, I think they'd love that and just kind of lean into Project 2028, 2027. But if they win 55 games, I'd be elated for White Sox fans.
I think it's a good call at Roberts, though. He's definitely gone. I think Vaughn's gone if he has a decent first half as well. I think they're moving on. I mean, I think those are guys they'll move on from for better prospects as well, even though these were prospects 5 years ago. So it's they're in a bad spot, obviously, but we'll see if they can build up through the draft. If they get anything but last, that's breaking news, I feel like, in this division, and every other team should be pretty upset about it.
You have the 6th ranked farm system and 6 top 100 prospects. So that's something to look forward to.
Well, exactly. So they have they can build up towards it, but that's what happens when you suck for this.
Knowing Jerry Reinsdorf, he's not going to do anything with that.
So how do you see it, Brandon? How do you feel the division standing? If I had to put you to the fire here, how do you see the standings working?
I mean, I'm taking the Twins just like Vegas is, just due to sheer talent. But if I had to pick somebody else, Detroit's rotation, especially on the top end, is terrifying. You never want to face Jack Flaherty and Tarek Skubal, and obviously not in that order. I flip-flopped them, but them in a short series is nasty. I love Reese Olson. Jackson Jobe obviously is exciting, and I think I mentioned Cater Montero. They have a nice array of young arms. Their bullpen should be interesting. I just don't know if they're going to get enough offense. I think Alex Bregman would have been a really nice fit there, but I like Kerry Carpenter, I like Gleyber Torres, and I love. I'm saying love, and then I'm trying to remember his name. The kid that plays in left field. We were just talking about on my other show.
Left field. Riley Green.
Yeah, Riley Green. Yeah. He's going to play. It looks like he's going to play left. I like him better in center just because I love up the middle talent, and he's capable of that. But
he's a stud.
Yeah, outside of that top 3, does Parker Meadows stay healthy? I mean, everybody's got health questions in some form or fashion. It's just a matter of, is it young guys with health questions, or if you're the Twins, it's literally your 3 musketeers where, I mean, if one of them goes down and you keep the other 2 fully healthy for a full year, you've still got enough talent to make that work. If the Royals lose Bobby Witt Jr., they're going to lose 88 to 92 games. If the Guardians lose Jose Ramirez, they're suddenly a lot less attractive. The Twins, for as much protection as they have in terms of if guys get hurt, they've got guys behind them that can play. Eventually, they just tailed off last year. They didn't have enough depth for 162. They had enough depth for 142, and it's that last 20 or whatever that killed them. Just absolutely killed them.
Yeah, nothing's worse as a fan than your last 30 games and your team just can't buy a freaking win. There is like that is like a gut wrenching feeling. Like every time you're like, they got it and they blow it a different way as well. Before I get to Logan's picks here, then we'll get you out of here. I feel like the Twins, when you mentioned, okay, you say Bobby Witt's the best player in the division, and then you mentioned that Skubal, I think we can all agree, is the best pitcher in the division. Obviously, winning the AL Cy Young. So this is a division where I was like looking through it. I'm like, who's the second best at these? But it's like it is kind of up in the air. Like it's not set in stone. Like I think we're like again. Well, the Twins guys have potential. It's kind of like Riley Green. It is very different. I think that's why this division is kind of interesting to me. Is like I'm curious who the next superstar is that kind of pops out in this division. So I don't know. That's just me looking at it from afar.
It's Riley Green for me.
Yeah.
I think that the Twins have some guys that could do that. The White Sox will have interesting prospects. It's just like they're not close enough to really make that leap of faith yet, because they're just so raw and so young. But yeah, Bobby Witt, I mean, he kind of just runs away with it. Beyond that, Luis Robert has a case. A few Twins have a case. Jose Ramirez has the track record. So it's Riley Green for me from an excitement standpoint, but from a proven contributor standpoint, it's got to be Jose Ramirez. And as far as second best pitcher, maybe you need look no further than the next man down in Jack Flaherty. Obviously, I like Pablo Lopez a lot. He took a little bit of a step back last year.
Yeah, he's good though.
Tanner Bybee is exciting. I don't like anybody else really in that Guardians rotation. But don't sleep on Cole Ragans. I mean, he's fabulous, and they kind of just let him do his thing last year. They had the veteran help behind him in Waka and Lugo, but Ragans was the guy. If you're circling the day that you face him in the series, because you're going to be in for a hurting that day.
I think you're right. I think he is probably the second best one in the division. I think Ryan's the one I think has some potential to move up.
Ober too. Bailey Ober's great.
He's good too. He throws hard. Yeah, he's good too. No doubt about it. He is. White Sox trade Andrew Vaughn to the Giants. I know you want that. What do you got, Logan, for division here?
So I just wanted to say quickly, because the projected standings for 2025: Twins 83-79, Tigers 82-80, Royals 81-81, Guardians are 78-84, and then White Sox are 63-99. I don't know, because I keep hyping up the Tigers, and history has told me whenever I hype a team up, like the Tigers, it tends to blow up in my face.
Keep doing that, please. Keep doing that, please.
Eric Skubal's going to get Tommy John surgery or something.
Use your power for evil, not for good.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, Brandon is kind of swaying me. The thing about the Tigers, though, is, and I actually had this in my notes, they were 25th in the farm system in the beginning of 2023. 25th. And now they're the number one farm system. And so I just think they're going to take a huge step forward. I think this is their window that they've been prepping for. This is why they got AJ Hinch. This is why they got Javier Baez. I mean, they wanted Javier Baez to be good at one time, and then he turned out to be a stinker. So
like it was in Chicago.
I am going to stick with the Tigers, and maybe that's going to help the Twins out because I'm the worst luck ever. I think the Twins are going to get second, and then the Royals, and then the Guardians. I think the Stephen Vogt honeymoon is going to be over pretty quick after the first month.
The most interesting thing when I think of this division, that was pretty good. I like the way you say it. I like Tyler bringing up Clase. Like, he is maybe the best pitcher in the division, but he says until September.
Until he faces the Yankees.
Until September. I like that. I think it's the guy we definitely have talked about. We've also brushed off if he gets hurt is Bobby Witt Jr. Like he is a stud. Like this guy is the elite player in this division. If he is healthy, 158 games, he's going to be the most dominant player in the division. So
he can't carry that team.
I don't know. He did. I felt like he did last year. I mean, without him, they're not making the playoffs.
Maybe.
So I just don't. I know Lugo. I know Reagans were good, but like he's the engine. He's the straw. He does it all. Like it would be impressive to me if he got hurt in July and they made the playoffs. Let's put it that way. Like I would be impressed by the Royals, like spirit is whatever you say or you call it, if they were able to pull off a division or even a playoff appearance without him. He's just the game changer in this division. As good as Ramirez, as good as all the top pitchers are. This guy, he might be the best player. He can't second at MVP voting last year. I mean, he is the guy. So I am curious on that side where they figure out. I have the Twins. I have the Twins winning it. I kind of believe in, like, you have a bad year, you bounce back a little bit. So I think they end up winning the division. I have the Royals at 2. I have the Tigers disappointing a little bit, finishing 4, the Guardians 3, and I have the White Sox at 5. So that's where I think the Tigers are getting slightly overhyped a little bit, is kind of how I kind of see the division playing out a little bit.
I get that.
That's where I have it on that side of it with it. But I know, Brandon. Yeah, no, I hear you. I think that's part of it.
That's the deciding factor for me. That's all it is.
Brandon, before I get you out of here, I need to do the Lockdown Twins thing. I just have 3 questions for you. Favorite Twins player ever?
Oh, wow. I mean, Joe Mauer gets the nod, but my cult hero, and you may be able to see it behind me, is Jason Kubel.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Yeah, I like kind of the squat corner outfield type.
Yeah.
But Joe Mauer, as far as like, he was the dude for me. Hall of Famer. So obviously, he's one of the all-time greats, but it's him for sure.
What Twins era are you kind of like, if you're like put me on a quiz here, old school, what's your kind of your era here? Is it now or is it but back in the day, where is it for you?
I started watching in 1993 when they were really bad. So I would say like my peak was like 2006. That was the first year I had season tickets back in the day.
Gotcha.
And so that was kind of my heyday, like mid to late late Metrodome era. But I could hold my own anything since 93. I'd be capable.
Just because I have nothing to lean on, and you beat me in the playoffs as well. Were you there for the Cote inside the park home run? Were you there in that playoff game for the Cote? Hey, give me
Don't
something.
Do that to yourself there.
I don't know.
Give
me something. Give me something.
Suck the air out of the building, man. It was, the only time I remember the Metrodome being that demoralized was Ruben Sierra hit a huge home run in the playoffs in 2004. I think it was Juan Rincon, and same deal. Just sucked the air out of the building, which is significant at the Metrodome because used to be when you would leave, the wind would actually blow you out of the building. It was actually a thing. So, yeah, it was brutal.
Logan, I could ask this to him because I was at the game where AJ Pierzynski hit a big home run in the playoff game and stopped out of home plate. I was at that game too, so I know what it means. Like, so Twins A's early 2000s. Like I said, my favorite player is Miguel Tejada. He gave up the home run to the Twins in there, but Twins beat him in the playoffs. It doesn't matter at that point, but so it's funny how the Twins A's have this kind of symmetry in the early 2000s with some of their battles they had along the way. All right, next one I got you. Favorite team moment then? Like, so favorite Twins moment, not player. What's your favorite like kind of team moment?
Joe Mauer came out and caught one last inning right before he retired at the end of 2018, and being there in person, watching it unfold, and not knowing ahead of time that it was happening. Goosebumps to this day. That whole day was special. And I'll never forget that as long as I'm a baseball fan.
Favorite non-Twins player ever?
Ever?
Yeah, like if you were saying not a Twins player, but this is the guy I rooted for. Who would you kind of say you rooted for that wasn't a Twins player?
I'll go two separate prongs here. Right now it's Francisco Lindor. I think he's just tremendous. And I saw him play when he was like 16 on the USA team, and I knew for a fact he was going to be a stud. But all time, product of the era, Ken Griffey Jr.
The kid. Is that why you're wearing the hat backwards? Is that what?
I wore it forward for my last episode, and so I'm trying to you don't want to wear the same outfit to school back-to-back days.
That's true. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that with it.
I forgot that Jason Kubel was the one who hit he completed the cycle to beat the Angels in 2009.
Yeah, so I had tickets for that game, and my buddy got married that weekend. And so I was in Fargo, which is about 3 hours from here, and I've never let him forget that. I was out of town and missed that game.
I was like, Jason Kubel, that sounds so familiar, but I remember the MLB The Show 2010.
Yeah.
It used to be the beginning intro. Like,
He-
this is the greatest thing ever.
randomly hit 30 homers for the Diamondbacks in like 2012 or something like that.
Add that to the list, you guys. The twin guy I always randomly think of is Jock Jones. He's kind of the guy that I just randomly always think of the lefty out there for you guys.
He could play, man. He was good.
Yeah,
Brian Dozier.
he was a killer. Yeah, Brian Dozier out there as well.
Josh's
Kadire.
favorite
I want to say
Twins
Kadire.
player is Trevor Plouffe. So
Oh gosh, dude, that
He's
Kadire was
He's good
more
to
of a
me.
pain in the ass for me. Kadire was.
I enjoyed Plouffe covering him because I covered him in person, and good dude. We still talk every now and then, but yeah, I could see him being bothersome to other people.
So when you say you covered the Twins, what do you mean in that regard?
Like as far as in-person coverage, like I covered them as a journalist for 7 years before COVID hit.
oh
Okay.
wow.
So you got
Yeah.
to know that team really well then.
Yeah, I mean, there's not many guys left because the last games that I covered were the 2019 postseason. So it's Byron Buxton and Max Kepler's gone, and all those guys are gone. So it's a whole new bunch. I actually went to an event this winter, and a few of the guys recognized me from that long ago. But it's been a while since I've seen some of them.
I've only been to one game in a dome. It was the King Dome way back in like '93. So I was 10, and Kevin Mitchell and Ken Griffey Jr. were in center field, and somebody else there. They had the old man. Going to the Metrodome. It was always. I remember as a kid that was always a big deal as an A's fan. Like, oh, they're going to the dome, and the choppers, all the like the noise, the bag out there in right field. You went to a lot of games. It sounds like. Was it a massive advantage?
Yeah, no question about it. Their team, I mean, they didn't pay anybody, and the benefit there was you always had young, hungry guys looking to get that contract. And so you never ended up with bloated contracts of guys who were hurt or in their 30s and not earning their keep. And that they use that to their benefit by having younger, faster, hungrier players that, hit the ball down the line and ran for days, or chopped the ball off the plate and had an infield hit.
Christian Dumas, damn you. Christian Guzman, I mean.
Basically exactly that. And so they used it to their advantage. There also was the ceiling was hard to track fly balls.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
A
that.
few other things. But then there was the air conditioning rumor that they turned the air conditioning on, blowing in late in games against opponents, and then shut it off when the Twins were hitting. So
Smart.
That's an open secret.
I forgot about that rumor. That was a good. There were some good ones with the Twins back then in that dome. They're like I forgot about the fly ball one. You're definitely right about that. That one happened a lot where it was all white and it would get caught up in there. I totally forgot about that one.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you taking some time to join us. I know you've been busy. You had a podcast before this, and you spent almost 40 minutes with us. But appreciate you, Brandon. Appreciate you taking the time to join Seventh Inning Stretch. And I know you do it daily, so I know that's a grind that you probably, as you're aware of, being a journalist as well, that you go with. Yeah. But appreciate you covering the sport, and obviously you're in baseball with it. So thank you for taking the time.
Hey, anytime, boys. Be good.
Good luck. Good luck with your Twins this year. We'll hope to talk to you mid-season. See you, Brandon. See
good.
Take care, Brandon.
Well, that was fun having Brandon on there with it.
He's good.
He was very good.
This is totally like off the thing. What episode of Seventh Inning Stretch were you watching, Darren?
What are you talking about?
Earlier when you said that you were watching an old episode?
It must have been, like episode 5. Some random one. It was like real early.
Oh, you're talking. It was just.
Yeah, it was.
That might have been audio only.
I came on it. Maybe it was like cause I know, based on the records of YouTube, I was on like episode 9 or 10 or something like that, and so it must have been like 7 or 8 or something like that. I was like, I just checked it out for.
You got to remember, we went to YouTube halfway through the first season, so he might be 8 or 9 of YouTube episodes.
That's what I'm talking about. So
we were on Spotify first. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to just totally switch gears right there, but I was like, wait a second, what episode?
We like to give history lessons on here.
Whatever the YouTube episode.
Oh, let's talk about the old days.
Back in my day, I walked up.
Back in my day.
I know. I'll tell kids like I took the yellow bus to school. AL Central.
Mine was always shorter than everyone else's.
Doesn't surprise me.
No comment. Oh, you got that with it. All right. So, Brad, I know we got you for about 30 minutes here, Logan. I think that's what we got with it. So, maybe get through a few things here. If you want, remind me. I'll do the trivia before you get off. But if we could do that, that'd be great. Help Edwards out tonight. Maybe Edwards can surprise me.
Let's
Maybe
do it
Edwards.
now.
There's no way I'll get another one.
What do you guys think of center fielders, real quick? Though this was an interesting position to me. I mean, obviously, right field will be our last one next week. We've been doing so it's like I'm actually getting to know the game, getting to know all the players here with it. Now you keep that AL Central notes. What do you think of Logan? We'll go you, Josh, me this time with it. Like center field, it's an interesting position. There's a lot of changeover, you would say, at it as well. In terms of like, well, this guy plays 20 games here. This guy plays 40 games there. What are you taking number one at center field position?
You know, I was making my list and I was like, there's someone who's missing, and I was like, oh yeah. So I'm taking Aaron Judge at my number one. 10.8 WAR last year, 158 games, 58 home runs, 144 RBIs, a 458 on base, and a 1.159 OPS and a 223 OPS plus. Yeah, I mean, he's the MVP. He's the Babe Ruth of our time right now. Whatever you want to call him. He's just
catch a fly ball. Catch a fly ball.
He can't really do it defensively, and that's why he's going to be moved to right field or something. So, but I mean, he's still technically center fielder. But yeah, he's. I mean, there is no other number one. He's probably. I mean, it's him and Shohei Ohtani who are the two best players in the game right now.
Yeah, no doubt. Judge is number one. There's no argument there with me on that one. Like I said, catch a fly ball, but he's been a stat on my fantasy baseball team for what I've been franchising for years. So he's definitely up there on it. Josh, where do you go number two?
Bo Naylor.
That's a great choice.
I guess I'd take center field. I need good defense, but I like a good bat.
To me, it's kind of an obvious one, but this is me.
I know.
I guess I can pencil in yours already then.
Who are you
taking?
He said Jacob Rodriguez. That's who I had. I thought you said Jacob deGrom. No, I'm just kidding. We gave it last week, but then we joked about it. That's who I had, Julio. He had a bad start to the season, but then came on like gangbusters at the end. He's one of always the more intriguing players to me in the league. He really is. Like he's kind of an enigma. What do you call it? Enigma? Enigma. Don't say M, Darren. You don't need the M.
We need to be careful there if you're going to mispronounce words there, buddy.
Are you talking about
Enigma?
Are you talking about the Rangers
Enigma.
hat? Are you talking about the Rangers hat? Okay. Well, yeah.
Oh, Rangers hat. Never mind.
Anyways.
Fernando Tatis. What do you? Yeah, so you have Rodriguez too. All right, so I like that one. I got Harris 3, Buxton 4. So I
really.
Well, Merrill, we had him kind of last week, so that's why I didn't take him. But
really? You guys had Merrill?
We did, but let's say we have Merrill on this. Let's do it for our draft sake. Okay. So let's do it. I take Merrill and Harris. That's what I got. I got Merrill and Harris.
Oh, okay.
So I take.
Wow, you okay? Hold on now.
So no Buxton. I'll leave Buxton out there. Obviously, we talked about him here with Brandon on.
I'm kind of surprised you took him already.
I like him. I think he's good.
I do too. I have him on my list. He's actually number 2, but I kind of thought that with his injury proneness that he was going to be a lower pick.
I'm like you though. I like that he makes contact. He's a really good defender. He plays on a good Braves team if they're healthy. Like I like those factors with him.
I was debating taking Harris at 2. That's what I was sitting there thinking about.
And he got.
That's how high I am on Harris.
Yeah, he's good. I like him. I
was like, man, I want to take Harris. If I don't take him now, one of these two are going to get him. But then I might as well take. That's why I was sitting there.
Yeah, and Merrill could be up there too. I mean, like
Merrill was my number 3.
So we have him there with it. What do you have? What do you have? Back to you, Josh.
Corbin Carroll.
Well, he's right field.
Yeah, I was going to say he's a right fielder.
Well, I
There.
have the thing I was looking at has him projected as a center fielder this year.
I
So I didn't know if there was a position change. I didn't know.
Yeah, he's more right field for us. I mean, that's where I would think Buxton or Roberts Jr. or
What about Duran then? See, is he enough of
I
a
thought he
center
was
fielder?
a right fielder also.
yeah, no, he's not. We did him last week, left field.
See, this is
Yeah.
the problem with
left field.
fantasy baseball
Yeah.
because they're listing these guys as center fielders.
Well, I'll give
Yeah.
you two. Would you rather have Buxton or Roberts Jr. or would you rather have Bellinger?
Guys, I
Bellinger.
didn't even mention.
Brandon Marsh.
Yeah, you could take Marsh. I
Sorry.
wouldn't mind that. Me and him will have a good
I'm
pick
I'm
here.
giving you my low picks because I ain't giving you my good
Or
picks.
Newt Bar. Take Newt Bar.
Yeah, you can take Lars Nootbaar.
He hasn't won center field yet.
I got him at 17.
I think Victor Scott could still take it if he can finish spring training strong. So is it my pick?
It's your pick. We're waiting on what Mr. Edwards.
Anxiously.
Just don't name a first baseman. He's got to be Buxton. No?
I don't want Buxton because he's an injury prone. I don't think guys who
You
are hurt.
stop trying to give away my picks, Jaron. Gosh.
Well, I mean, I don't know how he's
give me
not taking
Buxton.
him. I don't know how he's not taking him. He's right there. It's an obvious pick.
Fine, I'll take him. He's an injury prone.
Oh, I hate you, Darren.
I'm sorry. I can't lie. When I do that, when I post this tomorrow, I want to win. So that's part of it too. He's got Buxton and Rodriguez. Everybody's gonna say, well, he's injury prone and all that guy with it. Who do you got, Logan? You get 2 picks now.
I'm gonna take JJ Bleday.
Damn you! I had him 14. So
Yeah, take that there, Darren. And then I'm gonna take Garrett Mitchell. Actually,
Really?
I want to talk about JJ Bleday because he's my new boy now.
Well, I can tell
will
he's like your
protect him.
Sean Murphy of the day. He's like my new A's guy that you love.
Flavor of the week.
2.1 WAR, 159 games, 20 home runs, 60 RBIs, 324 on base, 762 OPS, and a 120 OPS plus. JJ Bleday has swooned me. I am in love now. Pretty soon, I will be able to have a team of all players that I love. And then Garrett Mitchell, Brewers center fielder, 2.0 WAR. 69 games. He didn't finish out the season, but 8 home runs, 21 RBIs, 11 stolen bases, 342 on base, 812 OPS, and a 123 OPS plus.
I had Mitchell number 12, so he was up there for me. I did have him. I did have him there with it. The Bleday one to me seems a little high. That does. I'm not gonna say that. That seems it seems like a reach.
I was looking at everyone else's stats, and he was over everyone else. He was my number 4 guy. So, what do you mean my sabermetric system? It's a system everybody else uses.
Oh, they used to do this funny thing on this radio, like the local radio station that I would have out here when Farhan Zaidi was kind of the Giants GM, and whenever they would because it got to the point where the Giants were ridiculous with stuff, and they would anytime they brought up a new player, they would bring up this computer sound like that, and I was like, that's what I think about when you say that. Like, all right, you need that computer sound for Logan when you're thinking of stuff like that. All right, so
I like math.
You do like math is always a good thing. Does the math tell you that Mr. Josh Edwards is back up with the pick here? Who's he going to take it? Is it going to be
I'm not sure who center fielders are anymore, so give me Tommy Edman.
Oh gosh.
I'll give you Tommy.
I knew this was going to happen.
I had him at number
I just told you I don't know who the center fielders are anymore, and I know he's a center fielder.
I had him at number 14, but it's good. It's a good choice though.
Hey, he can play multiple positions, not just center field.
Yeah. I was going to
put him
on my list, but
center field.
I don't know. I mean, he's going to play center field, and I mean, he's really a utility guy. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it
it's kind of like JJ Bleday. It's like JJ Bleday.
Don't start that.
So very similar. So he gets his boy Tommy. He gets to over there with it. All right. So for me, I'm going to take the guy we talked about just in the division here a little bit, and that's Luis Roberts Jr. I had him number 5.
Really?
I get him number 9. I had him 5, so I get him there. And this is a tough one for me. I'm gonna take Brenton Doyle from the Rockies. He won a Gold Glove. It was either him or Bellinger, and I'm just not a Bellinger guy. I'm just not. So give me Doyle. Give me the Gold Glove. Give me the Rockies. Give me the Rockies offense out there in Colorado. So I'll leave Bellinger out there for you guys, but I take him there with it. Josh, who do you got here to wrap up your draft there? O'Neal Cruz? You going Pete Armstrong?
Yep.
You going
Nope,
O'Neal?
O'Neal Cruz.
All right, O'Neal.
I didn't even have him on my list because I thought you would try to.
He was
snap him.
he was going to be my last pick. If he was available, I was taking him as my last. Just
Well, he is your last pick. We got
other
him.
uses.
He
You
is-
said he was still there. I was like, yep, that's who I want.
It was
He's the
Mr.
best.
Cruz. The
Oh,
shortstop
man.
moved to center field. Edwards, are you going to take the Yankee center? You got to take Bellinger. You're a Yankees fan, right? You got to take him.
I don't know. I mean, there's a couple
Edwards,
picks.
it's gotta
So
take-
I'm surprised that Josh never took Cedric Mullins.
I had him next.
Uh,
I had him at 12.
He was up
See, and
there
I thought he doesn't just play center field though, does he?
He does.
mostly.
Oh,
I'm surprised you didn't take Lane Thomas. Lane Thomas had 32 stolen bases. So the guys who I was stuck between were Brandon Marsh, Cody Bellinger. But you know what? I got to go with this guy. It's Mike Trout. I got to go with Mike Trout. I get he
right
gets
field
injured.
now.
Is he? Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, never mind. Okay. It's just he's still technically a center fielder.
He is, but he's not going to play.
But yeah, I get it. So I'm going to go with Cody Bellinger then.
2 Yankees. How does that happen? How does that happen? This
Cody
man's
Bellinger.
sick. This man is Yankee sick, Edward. This guy.
Well, hold on. 18
Hold on,
home
time
runs,
out.
78 RBIs, 9 stolen bases, 325 on base, 751 OPS, and a 111 OPS plus. I mean, he's what, number 6 on here on the list. So I mean, on the rank. So I mean, I can't just not take the best guy left.
I'm just messing with you. That's definitely.
What do you like so much about this JJ Bleday?
Let's see. JJ Bleday, 20
Like,
home runs, 60
I'm
RBIs,
comparing him to Edmund. That's my comparison. I'm literally doing.
324 on base, 762 OPS, and a 120 OPS plus.
No.
Okay, that's not. I don't know. Okay, I'm on Baseball Reference, and they've got him at a 101 OPS plus, 703 OPS, 391
Bleday?
slugging. Yeah.
Are you looking at this year? Or 2025 spring training?
Well,
You need to look at standard batting.
He's a good player. There's no doubt.
I mean,
about it. There's no doubt. He's a good
Tommy
player.
Edman is in a LA Dodgers hat.
I would take Edmund over him for sure, but
So would I, hands down. Not even close.
I also
Hold
think
on.
I mean, his batting average is 50 points higher.
I also think
good
the
Lord.
surprise
Don't
is-
start with me on batting average. You know that batting average is crap.
His slugging is 20 points higher. His OPS is 20 points higher.
Can I give you a-
he
can I
has
give
a
you-
ton more stolen bases in twice as many games.
Can I give you a Jung Ho Lee from the Giants? This guy might. He was.
I was thinking about that.
He got hurt really early in the season last year, and he was off to a good start. He got hurt the second week of May or something like that. And I'm not saying. I'm just saying next year when we do this, I could see him cracking that top 12.
Josh, you're not looking at his 2024 stats. You're looking at his stats over 3 years.
Yeah, overall.
No. Oh, good Lord. Okay.
It's about what he
whatever.
did recently. It's about what he did recently, right, Logan? That's
Yeah,
what it is.
it's. I mean,
Not about
Tommy
now.
Edman was dog crap for 2 years for the Cardinals.
Hold
so-
on. We're doing this on building a team, right?
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
into 2025, who do you
Yeah.
expect to be the best center fielder in 2000? I had Edmonds high up there though, so
Edmund will still be better than Bleday.
I had him up there, so there's no issue I have with that. All right,
I can't compare
sorry,
the
I
two of
wasn't-
them because Tommy Edman only played 37 games because he gets injured every freaking day.
if I
so-
put this online, Logan's winning. Judge and Bellinger, I'm losing. I am losing if I put this online. I know that's gonna happen.
Yeah, if you didn't tell
Brenton Doyle's not winning me this center field.
if you didn't tell Josh, oh, take Byron Buxton, I would have had Byron Buxton also.
Well, man, I got to be smart. It's a good GM right there. You
That's
got to
not a
help
good
out.
deal.
You
That's
got
a
to help your
funnel
guy.
move.
You got to help your guy there with it. All right, let's get to Peter. I don't. Diamond notes here. Walker avoids big injury there with the Astros at first base. I guess Woodruff is making his steps into the pitching back for the Brewers here as well. Josh, you got Yamamoto and Sasaki. They're going to start the Tokyo series with the Dodgers. They're on the 18th. This is real. The A's unveiled Las Vegas patches on their 2025 Sacramento A's uniforms, 4 years in advance, 3 years. Rays will not move forward with a new ballpark. There's some other things going on as well. They're going to be back here in just a second. What do you kind of make of some of the Diamond notes there? I do find the Rays Stadium thing is interesting to me because I'm so close to it with the A's and them recently moving. Like, I'm kind of curious why MLB is putting pressure differently on the Rays than they were the A's in terms of selling ownership. So it'll be interesting what happens here with the Rays, and they obviously had the natural disaster that affects a lot of it too.
Yeah, well, the Rays have also proven to be more competitive than the A's. So I think that's would be a difference in your pressure that's being applied.
Well, I would disagree completely. I mean, the A's won more division titles since 2000 than any other team in the AL West, I think. So it's like they just never spent money. They had plenty of opportunity to win.
Okay, do we want to go back to recency bias? Because in the last 10 years, I'm sure the Rays have won more than the A's have.
Well, in the last 10 years, but if you combine all of them, that's part of it. I bet
I'm just using the same argument you guys just hit me with on the Edmund Blade thing.
Well, that doesn't make sense though overall. Like, the A's did win, and now the Rays did win in 10 years, and now they're not building a stadium. So it sounds kind of similar to me.
No, I'm not saying that. Never mind. I was referring just to the pressure. I mean, I haven't heard that it was the MLB that's telling the Rays that they won't build a new ballpark.
Well, the Rays will not move forward with the new ballpark that they thought that they were going to try to get approved here. So that's part of it.
Right, but was that the MLB saying that, or was that the Rays announcing that they're just not doing it? Like, what was the MLB's involvement? I don't know. I haven't got
the MLB is not involved. The Rays aren't. The MLB is involved in everything. They're definitely part of this. There's no way the MLB is not involved in this. They want a new stadium. They don't want them to play in the minor league stadium again. I mean, remember, Tampa Bay is playing at a minor league stadium, and if they're not,
what about the rumors of them moving? That's where I was going with this. I'm sorry.
I haven't heard any
rumors of them moving. Different pages. You haven't heard anything about them moving?
Nothing serious yet.
Okay. That's why I mean, okay, so I haven't heard anything serious, but I've heard rumors about moving the team. That was my initial reaction was, if the MLB is involved, it's because they really do want to move Tampa Bay out of Tampa Bay.
They might. I think they do. I think they do want to move out of Tampa Bay, but I'm not sure on what basis that's going to be the case. So I don't know. I think the Sasaki, I think that too. But the race thing's interested me just from the standpoint of somebody that was obviously involved in it. So that part will matter a little bit to me in that regard. But I do think it's a little weird. It is funny that the A's are going to have this Las Vegas thing when they're going to be in Sacramento for 3 years too, maybe 4.
I don't get that. I don't understand it.
Sasaki and Yamamoto make their starts in Tokyo. No shock there.
No, I mean, if you're going to have a Tokyo series, you better have the two of the best players from Japan starting in that game. If you don't, you're just stupid.
Well, I think, and then, like I said, a lot of injury kind of notes this week. Garrett Cole goes down as well for the Yankees. Yep. Logan, what do you make of that? With Cole going down, and obviously they signed Fried, so he steps up as the next guy. But that's a huge loss there, along with Soto.
I don't know. I mean, I do know. I do know the answer. I don't think they can go out and trade for anyone. Because I think anyone is going to need. Anyone's going to want Spencer Jones, right, in return.
Yeah.
And that's just not feasible for the Yankees. They need Spencer Jones because Giancarlo Stanton is injured right now. So, I think they need to sign a player, and it can't just be some guy that it has been unsigned right now, right? It can't be, Tommy Tuton or whatever is like, just some random free agent. So I honestly, I've told you guys this, but I think they need to go and just swallow the pill and take Trevor Bauer. They need to sign Trevor Bauer, and if you want to release him when, actually, I mean, if you want to release him, fine. But I think you should sign him. I think the time has come to just where you are in a small window of opportunity. You lost the World Series. You spent a bunch of money in the offseason trying to get back to the World Series, and you cannot let something like public persona or whatever, get in the way of, winning the championship. He's been exonerated of everything. The charges were dropped. I mean, I see no reason. It sounds like I've heard players say that they want him to be signed, but the front offices have been too scared to sign him. So, and Trevor Bauer has even said you can pay him minimum with incentives. And I
That's a
think
hot
that's
take. Too.
smart move.
Yeah,
I know that's a very hot take. That's a very hot take. I get it. I get why people are are very worried about signing him for the public perception that he brings. And he's not necessarily a cancer in the clubhouse, but he's an off guy. Even without the whole stuff going around with him.
He definitely
I think you can't go out and say we almost won the World Series last year or in 2024, or we went to the World Series last year, I should say. They didn't almost win it. They got humiliated. And we want to use this time that we have Jason Dominguez, we have Giancarlo Stanton, we have Aaron Judge. We want to use this prime because we're paying these guys a lot of money to win, and they're not winning. And I think Trevor Bauer is the answer that works out because they can't trade for anybody. I don't think they're going to go out for Sonny Gray. I don't think Eric Fedde is going to work out for them. Someone said the Marlins guy, the Cy Young winner,
Alcantara.
I don't think Alcantara works either because I think Sandy Alcantara I think he's a little bit of a wild card also because he's coming off Tommy John surgery. And the year after he won the Cy Young, he had a horrible season. I don't know. I don't think there's anybody in the trade market right now. Maybe the Twins. Maybe the Twins want to get rid of a Joe Ryan or Pedro Lopez, Pablo Lopez. I think the only reasonable thing is Trevor Bauer. Sorry, that was a little bit of a rant right there, but.
Well, I only got you for 4 more minutes because you said it was a hard get off.
You got me for 10 more minutes actually.
All right. Well, if I got you for 10 minutes, I got a rant here that I can go to. I got my guy from the Twins there with it that we were on. Brandon here from Locked On Twins. As we get to the bonanza here and daily walk off, I am going to go Twins a little bit with it here on it. So the categories tonight are franchise top 5 RBIs through 2023, top 5 stolen bases in the 2010s, 25 win season with Minnesota, debuted with the Twins. So I got to think Spam's got to be on there, right? He's got to be on there with it as well.
Early 2000s, right? Not 2010s.
Yeah, Walter Johnson. Where's he? I don't think he's there. Is Walter? Did he debut with the Twins? I'm going to say he didn't. I'm going to say he did not.
Walter Johnson debuted with the Twins. It was the
Senators.
Yeah, it was like, technically.
How about Ben Revere? I think he was with the Twins. Herbeck?
Oh, man.
Or maybe Revere's stolen bases with Taylor Rogers. I'm going to go Herbeck with the Twins. Nunez. Hillenbrook, he's got to be there. Nunez, there's no way he leads it. RBI's there with that. General Crowder. Oh, my gosh, Eric. What are you putting us to the test with? General. Are you guys okay with that guess, or should we go somewhere else with it? Should I go somewhere? Josh, are you all right? I think I'm going to go with that one.
Josh got scared of it. I don't know it. I don't know any of these. Also, I can't
Zero.
see it, so.
My gosh. Herbeck's got to be – then he's got to be there at the cat there. Walter Johnson. Jeffers. maybe there with it. Rice for no. Rice got to be at least there. So let's see. Are we wrong? Yep. 2. All right, got that right. So Rice. I'm gonna go Rice. Walter Johnson for sure is pitching. Rice for Nunez. That's got to be right. Yep. All right. So we got a triple there with it. I got a triple on my daily walk off this week. Sorry, Eric, didn't do as well with it. General Crowder. How am I supposed to know? Big General. No, General. All with it. It's funny when I do when I try to test my knowledge on those other things. I'll be like, it's funny because we had him on a couple weeks ago. So I'll be like, who the hell is that? I have like no idea whatsoever what he's talking about with it overall. But all right, Logan, you will know who I'm talking about here with it. Who am I? Trivia for the week.
I will know.
I don't know if you'll know it or not.
I thought you said I would know.
Hit number 1. I played from 2003 to 2016, hitting 247 home runs and winning 1 MVP in the American League. I also fit second in MVP voting in 2008. Losing to Dustin Pedroia.
Joe Mountain.
No, not Joe Mauer. Josh, you got a guess?
I didn't think so.
Mauer retired in 18, so that wouldn't work.
Oh, is it?
Hold on.
Oh, let Edwards make a guess here. We'll let
Hold on.
He knows it.
I think I do. I'm pretty darn sure that I do. I think I was in the wrong position.
Edwards, give Edwards a guess here.
Am I right?
I'm trying to think AL 2008 and oh no, go ahead, Logan.
Hit number 2. I was a 4-time All-Star, won a Silver Slugger Award
there it is.
And a batting title with Colorado. Who is it?
Okay, I was right. No, you get this. You're gonna get this. I know it, but I want the record to show that I got in 1. So.
Is it? Let me ask you this: Does his last name start with an M or an L?
Yes.
M or L? Which last name?
It's an M.
All right.
And it's impossible to spell.
I was also a home run derby winner. Was born in Canada and played first base for the Twins. Shout out to our guy Brandon. My last season was with the White Sox. Left first baseman Josh, part of the M&M boys.
That's the way I'm trying to think of the M names now.
He batted left-handed, hit home runs. Give me the answer there, Logan Stone.
Justin Morneau.
There it is, Mr. Justin Morneau.
Yeah, you got in your own head there, Josh.
Yeah,
I thought the first
That's why
was gonna help with that. He had a good. I always forget he won that batting title with Colorado at the end too. I always forget.
I was like, huh?
He forget. How
won a batting title with Colorado? I was like, yeah.
It won the MVP second 1 year as well with it. All right, let me get to the MLB flashback here in just a second. Here, let me get to.
What a ride! The Cardinals are world champs in 2011.
All right, flashback video of the week. Mr. Francona of the Reds. Let's see this video here.
Through his left foot landed on the AstroTurf. Another base hit for Cal Daniels. They're going to send Francona. Bass has got a chance, but it's a short throw. He fell down. He's going to make it.
Dang.
How about that one?
I've never seen that.
Shape right there.
At least I don't remember.
Oh no!
Stemmels and down he goes.
No, get there!
Looks good there.
Just not enough to get there. Just not enough to get there with it.
I can't remember ever seeing that one, Darren.
That was a good one there with it. Logan, are you still there?
He's buzzing. He's there.
I think he's out. He's out. I can't hear him anymore with it. Edwards, there he is. He's back. How are we, guys? Good show tonight. MLB flashback for Ancona. Appreciate Brandon taking the time to join us. AL Central. Logan, AL East next week. AL East. Are you gonna be there to, you know what? Talk him up.
He's gonna take
center
his
fielders,
Yankees.
everybody. Judge and Bellinger. This guy's gonna be New York. He'll be doing it all. What do
We
you
should
got?
start calling him Sinatra. Logan, we can't hear you, buddy.
Oh yeah, you're muted.
He still doesn't know we can't hear him.
Logan, we can't hear you. We love you. I don't know what you're on out there. You're out there. That's
No
right.
sound, buddy.
That's why he's doing God's work out there. You can't hear
Exactly.
He's doing God's work.
He leads by example.
He leads right there. I can't even mute the darn thing when it comes on. So let's see if I got it.
No,
right
he's
there.
like, I have a point.
I have a point. I want to make it. I just
We still
can't.
can't hear you, buddy.
I can't hear you, buddy. Wait, Logan.
Oh,
there you
oh,
are.
there he
I hear a
is.
car. I hear you.
Okay. I was gonna say, I don't think anyone has spent enough time talking about how I've gone 3 weeks in a row, maybe 4, getting the trivia on the first take.
You've been pretty damn good. I got to pick up my game a little bit more.
I
so
think
much,
I
I get
think
blessed
I
already.
am the trivia champion.
You might be. I think
wanna-
Tyler always says I got it on the first take too. So I don't know. It looks like I gotta go up another level here. I gotta bring it up.
Darren, I want you to next time. I want you to just say the teams they were on, and maybe like if they were on one team, like for their whole career, just say what years it was. I think that might be harder.
All right,
I'd enjoy that. I want to try that.
I'm gonna go old school more with you too. I'm gonna go 70s, 80s. We'll do that with you too. Remember
don't give me Pee Wee Winky Face.
You remember when Logan missed Don Mattingly? That was my favorite show ever. I gotta get one shot. 4 in a row. I gotta get one shot in. I gotta go.
That's a day that will stay in infamy because I got in my own head right there and I was like, oh, you're so stupid, Logan. I can't believe that 95 should like ring in my head every day. Like I played from 1980, what was it, 82 to 95?
Yeah. You should know that one.
Oh my
right away. All right, we're gonna give Logan a challenge next week with the AL East. We'll give him a challenge. See if he can get it.
It can't be a Yankee.
Well, maybe we don't know.
Maybe it is a Yankee.
We'll mess
Maybe
with
I'm going to study Yankees next week.
We got to go psychological warfare here, Edwards, with him next week. We got to mess with him. But it was good to have you on, Logan. Though you got to get going, Josh. Good as always. We'll see y'all next week. AL East preview, 7th inning stretch. Brandon, thanks for Locked On Twins. We'll see you next week, folks. Peace.
Bye.